I was diagnosed, I think my husband also had life after death experience. We almost lost him. I was diagnosed in February, and we almost lost him in August. He had had 3 varicose bleeds, and they didn't think he was going to make it through the night. And my husband shared with me that he was in his room. He was on a ventilator for a very short time, just overnight, but he said he was in his room and that he just jumped out of his body. He was jumping from one bed to another, and he was jumping all over the room. He wasn't sick. He was just so excited that he was feeling so well. But then he heard the nurse was coming in, so he jumped back into his body. But that year, I think if I would have lost my husband that year, the year that I was diagnosed, I don't think that I would be as strong as I am now. I honestly feel that God sent my husband back to me, or my husband made the decision to come back, because for a few weeks after my husband had had that experience, he had lost a lot of weight and he looked so youthful. I kept staring at him and I kept staring at those eyes. I had not seen that life and joy in my husband. I had not seen those youthful eyes since we were in our late teens, early 20s. He was so full of life and so in love with God, and he would wake me up on Sundays to go to church. He couldn't wait to go to church. He said that he can just feel the music of the church just go through his veins. And so then my husband started getting sicker, and his health really declined. I was diagnosed in 2012. He died in 2014. He aged a lot in 2.5 years, very noticeable, but he loved me that much that my illness just really, really got to him. And before my husband died, he never complained. He was, my gosh, he just was a perfect guide for me. He just took such good care of me because he had been sick for so many years that he kept me going. And again, I think that if he had died that year, there's no way I would have made it through. But he hung in there for me, and then he got really sick. And the day that my son and I took him to the hospital, like I said, he had never complained, but that day he said, Mija, I said, I can't do this anymore. I love you guys, but I just can't do this anymore. And I remember I stayed quiet because he had never said that before. And I told him to hang in there when he was in the hospital. I said, honey, hang in there. You're going to get a new liver soon. And he goes, no. He says, and I said, honey, don't say, that you're tired. I said, because I need you here. And he said, no. He says, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. He says, God and I have an arrangement. Shortly after that, my husband passed away. And then to think, in his own way, my husband gave his life for me. My God, that's the ultimate sacrifice. And here I am, still fighting, but I feel strong, I feel peaceful. I take one day at a time, one moment at a time. I'm slowing down. People, when they look at me, they're surprised that I've lost my husband. They're surprised that I've pancreatic cancer, the deadliest cancer. There's no cure. People last weeks, months, and here I am still fighting. But I trust God 100%, and I'll keep fighting. But I just wanted to share this story. I hadn't really shared it with too many people, but after watching that movie, I just felt like I needed to share this. I guess it's a revelation. I know that for people that don't believe, you can speak to them until you're blue in the face, and you just can't say enough to convince them. But I know for those of you who do believe, I don't have to say much, because you don't need much to know that what I'm saying is true. And I just wanted to share this experience with you. It's, I guess, my revelation. And God bless, and we're here to love each other. We're here to lift each other up, to forgive each other, mostly to love each other. I loved my husband with all my heart, and he loved me with all his heart. I love my boys with all my heart, and my grandchildren. and my family and friends, and they love me. And to know, I know how much I'm loved. I feel very blessed. And I pray that my family knows how much they're loved, because God works through us. He's not up there sitting somewhere all by himself. He's here with us now. He's here. And you just have to open up your heart. There are so many good people. Just open up your heart and be wise about it too, because yeah, like God said, there are evil people, but there's very few evil people. It's us. We're too judgmental. But anyway, I don't want to preach. I just want to tell you that I love you. Keep the faith, and I just wanted to share my story. God bless.